Hey everybody, John Skiba here from the Consumer Warrior YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about something a little bit different. We often focus on bankruptcy and defending debt collection lawsuits. Today we're going to talk about debt settlement, and specifically I'm going to give you 3 terms that you need to have in your settlement agreement before you pay any money or sign off on any documents. But if this is your first time here to my YouTube channel, please click subscribe, check on that little bell, that way you'll be notified each week when I put out new videos that'll help you deal with your serious debt problem. All right, let's talk about debt settlement. A lot of these debt collection lawsuits or even just collection accounts, a really good option is just to try to settle them, to pay something less than what it is that they're seeking and just be done with it rather than go into lengthy litigation. Now, what I want to talk about though today is kind of some things that I see when people enter into settlement agreements that end up causing them a lot of problems down the road that can be avoided if you just include 3 things in the agreement that you have with the creditor in order to settle the account. Now, the first one is something you're probably aware of, but you need to get it in writing. The document, the settlement, it needs to be something where there's something reduced to writing. That can be just an email. It doesn't need to be some big formal contract or written agreement kind of thing, but just an acknowledgement by the creditor that you're settling the account for less than what's owed and that there are specific terms in there. Now, before you pay a penny to a creditor, you need to have some kind of acknowledgement. I've seen way too many times when people just get a phone call from a debt collector, they agree to a settlement, they make a payment, and then the following month the debt collector is still calling them saying, hey, you still owe the full balance, and just denying the existence of any type of agreement. You need to have them send you some type of acknowledgement, whether it be in the mail or whether it's an email. All of that is fine as long as there's some type of written acknowledgement of what the agreement is between you and the creditor. Now, the second thing that is super important, that if you're going to enter into a settlement agreement, particularly if it's going to be a payment plan over time, you need to insist on no interest, that the interest will stop as soon as you enter into that agreement. The reason why this is so important is because I have seen this, I can't tell you how many times over my legal career here in the state of Arizona, where people will negotiate a settlement agreement, they start making payments on it, and then they come to me and say, I don't know how this is possible. I've been making payments for the last 2 years. They just sent me a notice. I owe more than I did when I started. And the reason is you've negotiated a good payment plan. Maybe the payment's low. Maybe you're paying like $50 a month or $100 a month. The problem is the creditor is still calculating interest, and interest is accruing on the account at a real high rate, maybe 25, 30%. And so you're not actually paying enough each month to cover the new interest charges. And so you've just wasted a year, 2 years, 3 years in the settlement agreement, and you're in a situation where you still owe more than what you did even when you started. The creditor should agree to this. If you're going to enter into a voluntary payment plan, you are saving them time, effort, litigation fees, court fees, everything. In exchange, they need to cut off that interest. You need to insist on that and have that put in the writing that there will be no additional interest accruing. The third thing that you need to put into the settlement agreement is there needs to be a grace period for when the payment is due. Now, this generally applies if you're doing like a monthly payment plan over a long period of time. Usually there's like an agreed upon date that you're going to pay X amount of dollars on the 15th of each month, which is fine. You put this up, you're going to pay on the 15th of each month. However, in most settlement agreements, if you don't make the payments timely each month, then the settlement agreement is considered in default, and then they're allowed to pursue other collection activities. That includes filing lawsuits, or if they already have a judgment, it could include garnishing your wages. And so I always ask for there to be a 7 to 10 day grace period built into the settlement agreement. That way, if you're mailing the payments in and it shows up a couple days late, or if the due date happens to fall on a weekend or a holiday, it's not something where if you're 1 day late, then the whole thing is blown up. You need to insist on that there be a grace period built into the agreement to give you a little bit of breathing room so that you're not in default if you happen to be just a day or 2 late on the payment plan. So settlement, like I said, can be a great way to resolve things. However, you want to make sure that you're actually getting the debt taken care of. By putting it in writing, you need to insist on having a specific grace period and have no interest accruing in the payment plan so that you can finally get this thing taken care of once and for all. If you need help with your debt problem, I am an attorney in the state of Arizona. I'd be happy to do a free consultation. My contact information is below, and we can figure out what the best way is to help you deal with your serious debt problem. Thanks for watching today.